Hello, ladies and gentlemen, crypto deep divers. Welcome back to Weekly Crypto. Today, I'm going to touch on Bitcoin. Also, there's one thing you should hold. Before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out the upcoming videos that could be time sensitive. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, library.tv, as well as Patreon as well. For my Patreon member, I just posted a video. This video is exclusively for Crypto Die Master Patreon member. 3 indicator hurts FOMO into the stock market. Also, there's a screaming sell signal. Should you get a coronavirus? And how to trade like a pro? And which gold and silver coin has high resale value? If you're interested, you can join my Patreon group. So let's talk about Bitcoin quickly. So Trump basically told the Treasury Secretary Mnuchin to go after Bitcoin. And I mean, he is basically against Bitcoin since a long time ago. That was back in the Twitter, back in July 2019. And basically, he dislike, apparently he doesn't like Bitcoin. And he won. Remember the book from John Bolton, the room where it happened? And he basically inside the book, he talked about he doesn't, Trump basically dislike Bitcoin. And also, they talk about, basically Bolton saying that heard Trump tell the Secretary Mnuchin to go after Bitcoin. The conversation between Trump and Mnuchin was regarding trade sanctions and tariffs against China back in May 2018. So I'm not surprised because the thing is, if everybody go to Bitcoin, who is going to do the stock market, right? The thing is, you need, for every presidential election cycle, basically the stock market is going up and up. So to him, the stock market going up and up is very important. So anyway, for him to be elected, so that's why, I mean, he's not going to be pro-Bitcoin. Absolutely not, of course. This is no-brainer. Because if the thing is, if people exit out of the traditional system, who is going to buy, right? Except the Fed put, right? Because of the easy money policy, they are printing, and all this money go to the institution. Institution use this basically free money to buy the stock. That's all they do, right? It's a Fed put, right? They have been talking about those QE thing or Ripple is a Fed put. This is very interesting. And of course, there's no consequences. Just like the 2008 financial crisis, after the financial collapse, I don't see any people, white collar, go to jail. Nobody, right? Do you know anybody go to jail? No, right? If the company go bankrupt, you're fine. We're going to the taxpayer is going to bail you out, right? So you have no risk, basically. Those big business is even better than small business because they always have the Fed to come in to save them at the end. And of course, you have to have good connections. They didn't save Lehman Brothers at the end, right? Because he is not part of the cup. So that's why. Anyway, so basically, this is very interesting. John Bolton just released the book. The book is not released yet, but a lot of reporters already got the books already. The room where it happened. So. And of course, there's some controversy about Trump want President Xi Jinping to help him to get reelected by buying the agricultural products, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't want to comment on that because there's so much controversy, so much controversial right now. And let me know what you think. I would love to hear from you all this fiasco. There is so many things going on, one after the other. Then the protest, the virus, and then this. And this is like every day is different, right? This is what the mainstream media try to sell the news, right? Otherwise, how can they get more advertising? Anyway, so basically, he expressed dislike about cryptocurrency. And of course, he called Bitcoin not money. It's just based on thin air. The US dollar is also based on thin air, isn't it? It's not backed by gold or silver. And he also attacked the Facebook Libra token. Remember the Libra token back then, right? I think, but the Facebook has to back down, right, at the end. And also, he talked about, of course, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency used for money laundering more than cash. Well, I think cash is more than, in terms of money laundry. I mean, cash is even more because you don't have a blockchain. And in the blockchain, you can see the recording, right, on the blockchain. So it's not like 100% anonymous. You can see the transactions, how many transactions has been transferred. Versus cash, there's no recording at all. You can bring a whole bunch of cash and do a transactions, and nobody even know, right? There's no blockchain, nothing. So cash is even better for the money laundry than cryptocurrency. Seriously, if you know the blockchain technology. And of course, he talked about he want miniature to target cryptocurrency. And another thing is interesting. He also appointed Mick, this guy, White House chief of staff, about let's see, yeah. So, but the thing is, this guy is pro Bitcoin, and also called Bitcoin a currency not manipulated by any government. I don't understand. So I don't know what's the scheme of these things. But the thing is, all the old power, like the traditional market, traditional power, they don't want any changes. And the blockchain technology is going to potentially disrupt how the way we do business. So that's why of course they're against it. But then if they cannot against it, they have to embrace it. And don't forget, like Goldman Sachs and all this Morgan Stanley and all this big firm, they have been participating in those blockchain thing probably a long time ago. They didn't tell you, right? Yep, they didn't tell you. But then in the mainstream media, they're bashing about, right? Remember Jamie Dimon saying Bitcoin is a fraud, blah blah blah. And on the back end, they basically doing some type of private blockchain and stuff like that, right? But anyway, and of course, the Bitcoin mining difficulty is going to is getting more difficult because of the halving. So I'm not surprised that will phase out a whole bunch of incompetent, I guess, not efficient miners. And you will notice there's a lot of the thing is, some miners are pretty savvy. They should have locked into the contract when Bitcoin was at 14,000 back in June last year. And if they didn't lock in that contract, they probably screw right now, right? So a lot of savvy miners probably locked in a contract already, some of them. But some of them didn't lock in a contract. Now they create some type of financial product to finance their operations, basically. So just be careful out there. And the next thing I want to say about the one thing you should hold during this time. And I talk about potential military conflict back in February. If you follow my channel, you probably know what I'm talking about. I've been talking about this potential military conflict. And now you have India and China. And also the South China Sea is also have a whole bunch of warship in the South China Sea back in February. Of course, mainstream don't talk about these things. And India and China, well, they did have some casualties. I think my understanding is the Chinese PLA, the People Liberation Army, basically ambushed the Indian soldier. And they didn't fire any shots because they are fighting, they're just fighting. Maybe with a knife, with some type of weapons. They didn't fire any shots. But at the end, you have I think on one side, China side, have 300 PLA, the People Liberation Army. On the other side, Indian side is 75 Indian soldiers. And they were fighting, and then at the end, the casualty is 20 Indian soldier die and 40 some PLA, the Chinese soldier die. And also they ambushed those people, and then what I heard, they throw the Chinese soldier throw because this is in near the Himalayas. So you're going to a very uphill or very dangerous area. It's very hilly up there, and because up there is maybe I don't know how many thousands above the sea level, maybe 6,000, 5,000. I don't know. If you get injury up there, you probably have a hard time, to recoup and all that, right? And there's only one road to get there. And I don't know. And what I heard is the China PLA ambushed the Indian soldier, and then they throw the Indian soldier off the hill. And I don't know. Right now, I think this thing is going to go back eventually. And don't forget, India has already signed with US. They have remember, it's because of the trade deal and all that thing, right? And then because of the trade war with China. So I suspect this thing is going to go back eventually. But and of course in the South China Sea and also the Taiwan Strait, of course, not only U.S. warship around the area, also the China warship is also around the area, create unnecessary tension. And of course in the South China Sea, not only in the sea, also up in the sky as well. You have U.S. military aircraft or like they fly across the area of the Taiwan on the sky, as well as in Hong Kong as well. There's a lot of tension in the area, but I think mainstream media didn't talk about it. So potentially, I think there's a potential military conflict in between India and China, as well as the South China Sea as well. And of course, China want to take back Taiwan long time ago. And the thing is, I mean, Taiwan already have their own democratic system. They have their own government. They have everything. They have their own. I mean, they have really true democratic system. And if you go to Taiwan before, people in Taiwan are very nice actually. So I'm surprised that too. And they try to help you because if you're tourists, you get lost. They will try to help you. They're very nice. I think that civic education is pretty good as well. And so I'm surprised that too. I've never been to China, so I don't know. I cannot compare. But the thing is, like right now, there's a whole bunch of military conflict. So one thing you should hold, basically, of course, is this gold or silver, right? Anything war, uncertainty is to hold gold and silver. So that's why gold has been like this, like not. I mean, it has dropped like around below 1,700 a little bit, but it go back up again. So I'm not a financial advice. I'm not saying you go buy right now. I'm just saying you probably should have some gold and silver in your portfolio. That's all I'm saying. So when I buy and sell something, I look at the indicator. I just don't go and buy stuff like that. But if you follow my channel, you'll probably accumulate some gold and silver probably back in when gold was around 14,000 or something like that. But anyway, or silver is around, but silver price is really interesting thing. But anyway, so anyway, the thing is, during this type of thing, I think, yeah, so not a financial advice. Basically, I mean, everybody should have some commodity in their portfolio anyway. Basically, yeah, that's what my thinking. Anyway, so not a financial advice, use your due diligence. Let me know what you think about all this. And I know there's a lot of protests, a lot of craziness around the world right now. And I think at one point, you got to decide what you want to do, right? So sometimes, do you still work in that 9 to 5? Is it even safe to work in that 9 to 5? Is it time to move to a more remote area? I mean, I don't know. Comment below. I would love to hear from you. And if you found this video helpful, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel. Also share with your friends. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out the upcoming videos. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, library.tv, as well as Patreon. Remember, crypto deep divers, we the people take control of money. Stay wise, stay safe, peace. I'm not your financial advisor. Investing in cryptocurrency, commodity, and stock market can have inherent risks. Please use the due diligence. And peace out.